The first people to collapse were not the poor, not the old, not even the sick. They were the ones who still believed summer behaved the way it always had. By the year 2047, Australia no longer feared storms. It feared the sun. Every morning began with emergency alerts glowing across phone screens. Extreme heat warning. Stay indoors. Power grid instability detected. But the real terror wasn't the temperature itself. It was the silence that came with it. No birds singing, no traffic, no children outside, only the sound of distant air conditioners struggling to keep millions alive. What happened next changed everything. Scientists once believed humans could adapt to almost anything. We crossed oceans, survived ice ages, built cities in deserts, but nobody expected the atmosphere itself to begin turning against us. At 50 degrees Celsius, the human body enters a quiet war with physics. Sweat stops cooling efficiently. The air becomes too hot to release body heat. Organs begin overheating from the inside. And the terrifying part, you often stay conscious while it happens. Across Australia, roads softened beneath the heat. Train tracks bent. Forests exploded into flames without warning. Even the oceans felt warm. Koalas collapsed from trees searching for shade. Kangaroos gathered near the last remaining puddles. And entire cities slowly transformed into survival zones. In Melbourne, families slept on rooftops at night trying to escape overheated apartments. In Sydney, smoke from distant bushfires turned the sky orange for weeks. Children began drawing pictures of the sun as something frightening. Not beautiful, dangerous, and for the first time in history, scientists used a terrifying phrase to describe parts of Earth. Temporarily uninhabitable. That matters because civilization was built during one of the calmest climate periods Earth had ever known. We thought stable seasons were normal, but they were actually rare. Fragile, temporary. Inside overcrowded hospitals, doctors treated endless cases of heat stroke. Nurses worked through blackouts while backup generators rattled in the darkness. Outside, supermarket shelves emptied within hours whenever cooling systems failed. Water became more valuable than fuel, and still the temperatures kept rising. The real mystery is that heat changes more than the environment. It changes people. Scientists studying extreme heat discovered rising anxiety, aggression, insomnia, and emotional exhaustion across entire populations. Because human beings evolved with cool nights, with seasonal relief, with the promise that darkness would eventually bring comfort. But now even midnight felt unbearable. The planet was not just overheating physically, it was exhausting the human spirit. Far above Earth, astronauts aboard a climate observatory watched enormous heat systems spread across continents like glowing wounds. One astronaut whispered something during a live transmission that millions would never forget. We built civilization assuming the planet would always forgive us. From orbit, Australia looked tiny against the darkness of space, a thin atmosphere protecting millions of lives from the endless vacuum beyond. And suddenly humanity seemed fragile. Not powerful, fragile, but strangely something beautiful also began happening. Communities opened cooling shelters for strangers. Cities planted forests across rooftops and streets. People shared water freely during blackouts. For the first time in generations, survival stopped being individual and became collective, because the truth is Earth will survive this. The oceans will continue moving. The winds will continue blowing. The planet itself will heal over time. The real question was never whether Earth could survive humanity. The real question is whether humanity can survive the version of Earth it created. And maybe that is the greatest lesson hidden inside the 50-degree summer. Not that humans are powerful, but that we are small, fragile, and deeply connected to the world around us. Because in the end, survival was never about conquering nature. It was about remembering we were always part of it.